I freelance now. I needed a good office space, so I bought a desk. After finally cleaning out our second bedroom, which was also our junk room and not a functional guest room, I knew that I needed to turn this into a comfortable and creative office space to functionally get my work done during the day. I had no plans of sinking a lot of money into this project, nor did I have a lot of freedom. This back ivory wall is made of concrete, so I can't drill holes into it. I can't paint this tan wall and carpet. But I had a lot of leftover artwork that was just gathering dust because I didn't take the time to set up an office space. So with 2 days and a lot of sweat, power tools, and mistakes, it was time to finally get my shit together and set up camp. This would also be a good opportunity for me to upcycle a lot of unused crafts and materials that I had lying around as well. I wanted to keep this as low waste as possible. The first section I tackled in this office was the ugly tan room. Since I had this very large white frame Tara McPherson print that I hadn't hung up yet, I figured the white frame would contrast well with a tan wall. So let's put this on this side of the wall, along with a lot of other warm colored artwork that would look really nice next to it. This ugly tan wall is also the only one in the room that I can drill holes into as well as put an anchor in, so that was another reason why I had to hang this picture on this wall. Since I also want a lot of flexibility in the future with adding more pieces, I've decided to also use a lot of command strips and skinny nails. Before the day is over, and since I'm already a sweaty, disgusting mess that needs to wash her hair, I figured it may be as good a time as any to actually mount the command strips to the wall that's concrete and make sure that these have the time to really get sticky to the wall overnight. Last but not least, what I really wanted to have on my office window was a diffraction sheet. I purchased this roll off Amazon, and luckily it can cling to the window fairly easy with static, but you can also make sure it's secure with gift wrap tape as well. I've angled it this way to catch the light over my neighbor's condos, as well as shine some rainbows into the room during the evening, telling me, hey, it's time to stop working. Despite how gross I look, watch how I try to look cool while looking at my rainbows. And this is the result. Awesome. On to day 2. So after a good night's rest and finally washing my hair, I'm ready to tackle the last part of this office redo. Let's go. For my first upcycling project, I just found an old photo frame I had lying around with a cork board, and I'm just gonna make these look a little bit more presentable. I'm gonna hang onto the glass and use that for a later project, and have a functioning and sturdy cork board that will actually hold push pins. And now onto the lower left-hand corner of this main back wall. I wanted to have a blue accent along this lower part, but I wanted to upcycle again. With this random geometric pattern I had in mind, I created a template in Illustrator and went from there. With this template, I was going to cut this out to make it my stencil, and using this entire book of craft paper that I've had for years and have had no use out of, I decided to utilize as many sheets of this as I could and find some really pretty French and floral patterns to use as an accent in my office. I repeated this process with different patterns and laid them out to create an abstract pattern that would go along the lower left-hand corner of my wall. It was definitely easier to lay this out on the floor and kind of get an idea for what I wanted to do before taking glue dots to this thing. Lots of glue dots. So I ended up buying that plant, and my idea was to hang it right in between these two posters and above this abstract wall art. And then, in this very moment, I realized that my ceiling was also made of concrete. Crap. So after about 10 minutes of a tantrum and trying to figure out a plan B, I needed to move forward and go on to my next upcycling project. I've wanted some type of area rug for my office space, and I had this old piece of lace left over, so I thought, let's try to marble this. I had seen an old tutorial for marble dyeing pillowcases in the past, so I thought, why not try that with this? Instead of a cooking sheet, I foiled my entire countertop, which could have probably lost me my deposit, and I tried an old hack. And instead of shaving cream, I tried hair mousse. So of course, what happens when you try to cut corners? Doesn't work out. This is my second DIY mishap, but we move on. So I ended up dyeing the whole thing blue anyway. What can you do? Still looks cool. There's my butt. And so as we go on to the last touches of my office, my desk is finally coming together as it seems like my wall is in place. Finally. Returning back to the extra piece of glass I had from the photo frame, this is going to be placed under my laptop to prevent overheating, a tip I had picked up from the Korean drama Sky Castle from the crazy tutor. Although I will not be adding Mondrian to my office. Ah well. Still gets the job done. So now all the pieces fall into place, and my plan B for my plant was to go on the opposite wall anyway. Damn you, ceiling. But it worked out in the end because everything seemed really balanced, and my office has finally come together. Thanks for watching and hanging out during my quirky little redecorating journey. If you are unlike my teachers growing up in school and you actually like my tone of voice, please be sure to follow me on social media. See you next time.